Remember, the enemy has only images and illusions, behind which he hides his true motives. Destroy the image, and you will break the enemy.
We had the Blue Angels were flying over today, the Bay Area.
Oh shit, is it that time of year again?
Yes, it was Fleet Week this week.
Hell yeah, dude.
I guess today was the practice run.
So this weekend's gonna be like all about it.
I guess, yeah.
Dude, what great weather to fucking see. Dude, it's gonna be like 90 the whole fucking weekend.
Oh, dude. It was so fucking hot today. I think I have a video. Let me see.
Dude, I love the Blue Angels, dude. I don't care what anyone says. It's not even because of Pedro. I just like those fucking guys, dude. Buzzing bridges and fucking making people spill their Diet Cokes like on Market Street. I love it, dude.
There's definitely fucking just how loud it is. It so amps loud. You up big time.
Yeah. Oh, look at this, dude. Sick. The Angels, baby. Dude, and when they come out of Moffett Field, dude, they like fucking blow it out, dude. It's insane.
Seriously, it's so loud when they're fucking going overhead.
I think I was with you one time when we were like walking up in that one park next to it was like next to like the Three Sisters up there in that one neighborhood where Uncle Jesse used to live. And we're at that park right across the street, and it was like they were just going crazy. I think it was dude, that was about way back in the day. And like I'm like, well, how the fuck? And it was just they were blowing up the whole fucking like
I was like fucking like 25 years ago or something.
It was so long ago. And we're just up in that one like neighborhood or something, and they were just fucking look at that. That's sick. Pretty cool. Those things are so outdated, though. It's so funny.
Right.
It's insane. You caught that today?
Yeah, that was just earlier. Fucking.
Look at not a cloud in the sky, boy.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice ass day, dude. It's so hot up here today.
Right now, it's still steaming hot. Like,
oh man, I'm sweating just sitting here.
Yeah, I got tomorrow off and the rest of the weekend, so taking some time. Holy fuck, man. How fucking insane. They're so fast.
Totally. They fucking cover some ground for sure.
Dude, every time I've been up in the city when there's Fleet Week, I've always just been like, holy fuck, dude. Like one time I was crossing the Bay Bridge and and it was like traffic, like just stopped there. And you can like just see him like coming off of Moffett Field, like launching. Maybe not seeing him like take off, but like as soon as that horizon, you get that like kind of like that wobble of heat on the bay right there. They come out of that weird kind of wobble, and dude, they're right on the Bay Bridge, fast.
Yep, and it's so loud,
so fucking loud, and it's just like, wow, man, like it's so surprising how fucking sick they are, dude.
Yeah, and it I mean, I guess not surprising, but I always surprise myself how excited I get when like you see some shit like that.
Yeah, dude.
You know, fucking because I don't give a fuck about no military shit or anything like that. No. But like fucking some fighter jets fly overhead, like you just want to fucking.
It's a dude. Whether or not you're, I know when you're not, whether you're patriotic or fucking all about it, it's like, dude, that's a sick machine, dude. Mm. I can appreciate fucking like a machine like that, dude, because it's like it's wild. And then, like, if you go into, like, what it took to, like, make the jet propulsion fucking work, it's like, I'm into it, dude. But anyways, that guy fucking Whistle Stop or something like that?
Yeah, California Whistle Stop. Let me pull it up.
Dude, he did one about Holy City. Probably have to, like, go through it. I don't know.
Let's see. Sorry.
That's all good.
I was doing a retard move there.
Who is
the Holy
this?
City ones.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, but
it's got to be from around here, no?
Definitely. He focuses mostly on NorCal stuff, like Half Moon Bay.
Yeah.
All, like this one's cool about the train tunnel and Santa Cruz Mountains.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even look at that one. Is that one you sent me?
I don't think I sent that one.
Yeah.
And then we watched this Tesla one, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
We tried to record that one.
I think I sent you a picture of that tunnel one time.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah. Dude, that is a huge tunnel.
Yeah, should we throw it on?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. This guy does it. Yeah. This guy kills it, man.
Hey, how's it going? Today we're going to be checking out the former town site of Wright Station, which was a stop along the now defunct Southern Pacific Railroad.
That's Laurel right there.
In the late 1800s, the Southern Pacific Railroad established a route through the Santa Cruz Mountains, which connected Santa Clara County and Santa Cruz. At the mouth of the first and longest tunnel on the route, which was actually over a mile long, a large workers' camp popped up, which later became known as Wright Station. Many records state that Wright Station was one of the largest, if not the largest, of all of the town sites that popped up along the railroad in the Santa Cruz Mountains. When this route started to slow down in the mid to late 1930s, the San Jose Water Company purchased pretty much all of the land that Wright's was located on and demolished almost every single trace of the town.
So weird.
Today, Wright's is practically in the middle of nowhere, and very little remains of this once bustling town site.
He says, where'd it go?
It flooded? No,
the water when it closed, the water company, San Jose Water Company, bought up all the land and demolished everything.
What?
Yeah.
Fucking all right, go for it.
The San Jose Water Company purchased pretty much all of the land that Wright's was located on and demolished almost every single trace of the town. Today, Wright's is practically in the middle of nowhere. Company
destroyed
and very little remains of this once bustling town site.
Right.
All that remains at Wright's is the road and the original bridge, which has been refinished at some point, along with the Summit Tunnel entrance, which has largely deteriorated.
This is Laurel right here, though. The road.
Is that right off Highway 17?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Dude, it kind of still looks like that there, dude.
I want to see that again.
It's called Laurel and Stagecoach. Those, like, the roads are still like that.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
If you were just driving through, you'd have no idea that this was the former town site of a large and bustling community. Back in the day, on the left right here, there was a train depot and then also a few loading stations, while on the opposite side, there was a general store and I believe a hotel. Nowadays,
nature
you don't
just
have a residence around here, or you don't work for the water company. There's pretty much no reason to come down here because the road dead ends a little bit past this bridge.
So, do you think they have a reservoir out here? We might have to look into that. Maybe
that's what they've done with like the Lompico when they made it into a reservoir.
Trail here to the Summit Tunnel entrance. You would have a hard time recognizing this to be the same place as that photo I shared earlier. Originally a spillway to help divert water away from the entrance and tracks, you can see it's now developed into a large ravine, which is actually eating away a lot of the land the original tracks were laid on. When the tunnel was first established, the entrance was actually made of wood. However, due to erosion and collapses caused by the water source that created the ravine here, the tunnel entrance was actually reconstructed of this concrete. In this photo here, you can see how they built a barricading wall around the tunnel as well as spillway to prevent water from eroding the entrance. This version of the entrance held up extremely well during the years of the tunnel's service and even withstood the 1906 earthquake. However, since the route's closure in 1940, you can see just how much the entrance has deteriorated over the years. Unfortunately, many workers lost their lives during the construction of this tunnel, with a large portion being early Chinese immigrants. With virtually no safety regulations,
early Tartarian immigrants.
In little technological advances in tunnel digging, you could imagine just how dangerous this job would be back in the day. One event sticks out as the most notorious accident to happen. Quoting Ryan Masters from hilltromper.com, by mid-November of 1878, the tunnel reached 2,300 feet into the mountain. A petroleum-like substance now seeped fairly regularly from the crevices in the rock and had to be burned off every 5 or 10 minutes to avoid a dangerous buildup. On the night of February 12th, 1879, the inevitable happened. While lighting the fuse on a dynamite charge, the swing shift foreman ignited a pocket of gas. The resulting explosion blew a roiling wall of flame out of the tunnel like a charge from a cannon. While the foreman somehow survived, 5 Chinese laborers did not. Yet these mangled and blackened bodies were just the mountain's opening salvo against the burrowing invaders.
Brutal.
Walking back along the ravine, it's fun to think about how this land used to cover up most of this empty space here, with workers' cabins and loading stations being backed up along the hillside here.
Never know.
Here you can see how that old spillway has eaten away so much of this land and continues to do so. One of the few original structures of Wright Station is this bridge here, which when it was built in the late 1800s probably helped horse-drawn carriages across the Los Gatos Creek, and later on helped escort vehicles. And that wraps up our tour of the site of Wright Station. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more videos like this.
That bridge looks sick, and I'm gonna say bullshit. That cement that they fucking laid, it looked like there was no way. You know what I mean? That was older than they say. I know 1870, older than that. I think it's way older than that.
Sure. I mean, it sounded like they were trying to restore it and trying to fucking
right.
Yeah, rebuild it, and I mean that for whatever reason that mountain wasn't.
And dude, and I've always said this. I went like, there's been documented like oil pockets in De La Viega, let alone like all over those fucking mountains, man.
Well, yeah, I mean that fucking does lead into that other oil. He just did that oil video.
Yeah, I know, and I love it. I almost think this guy might be like hip to like he's all there. There was no dinosaur bones ever found.
Yeah, dude, that was like with the first and one note I made on that video was the La Brea tar pits where they're like, where he's like, they never found a dinosaur bone there. It just made me fucking laugh.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, of course they didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and because, and also with that, the deposits, like it's just like I said, man, these Native Americans or Californians, they were building these boats to like travel, and they were using pitch on their boats to make them like watertight, man. You know what I mean? And Carpinteria, I don't like, it was like such a big settlement that the Spanish called it Carpinteria because they were like, that was like the Indians were carpentering these fucking boats, these canoes.
Yeah.
And
totally using the asphalt basically for their boats. It's in here. Let's see if I can find it. I didn't know that about Carpinteria. That was a trip.
And then like right there, he shows a picture of a Tartarian.
Recent research has discovered that underwater ecosystems are thriving around the underwater asphalt volcanoes. Biodegradation of the oil seeps supports a wide variety of species, as shown in this close-up photo. The first record of California oil being used by man was made nearly 500 years ago in 1542 by explorer Juan Cabrillo. Cabrillo noted that the local Chumash tribe was using asphalt to seal the planks on their ocean-going canoes. The town of Carpinteria was named in 1769 by soldiers within the Portola expedition. The name was Spanish for the carpenter shop based on the many wooden boats being built at the location. The Chumash canoes were very seaworthy due to the tar used to seal the wooden planks. Without making use of the oil seeps, the Chumash would have never been able to reach the Channel Islands and create settlements out there. The name for a Chumash canoe was Tomo. Chumash elder Fernando Labrado oversaw construction of this Tomo in 1914. Fernando's parents were from 2 different villages on Santa Cruz Island. His parents were brought to Mission San Buenaventura as children. Fernando was born at Mission San Buenaventura in 1839. Native Americans relied on asphalt from oil seeps for many different purposes. For example, it was used to seal and waterproof water containers made by weaving grass. It was used like glue in the construction of tools and weapons. And it was used as a sealant, for example, to plug these holes in this abalone shell to make a nice dish.
Ashtray.
California's population density increased drastically following the discovery of gold by James Marshall at Sutter's Mill in 1848. Ships became stranded in San Francisco as the crews joined the gold rush.
They just left their fucking boats out there, yeah.
After a few years, things returned to normal, and clipper ships became a big part of the supply chain to California.
They could have sailed to Sacramento as a thing.
In 1855, a lot of...
that's what a lot of people don't think about, is they could have sailed those ships all the way to Sacramento.
Yeah, but there was like military. Yeah, there was already military there, wasn't there? Or like, yeah, that's what they're saying. They probably got booted off their boats, and like their boats got like fucking whatchamacallit, like compounded by the military. Yeah. As soon as they like went in there, they're like, "Oh, what are you guys doing here? Get off your fucking boat!" And then because they had more laws being a sea weather. Like once you step foot on land, they just confiscated it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but like, dude. Sense. Yeah, but like, dude, and then I think this is when we were talking about like Leland Stanford.
Yeah, brothers. This gets into that, and I've said this all along too, that like most of the people, a majority of the people who got rich during the gold rush or from the gold rush, they didn't get rich from the gold from mining. They got rich because they were shop owners, and they like, made steel, or they made bricks, or they were, millworks. And
yeah, it's like the same. Yeah, it's the same thing as like, like since they were on the gold standard, like, am I going to go out there and like dig in the dirt, or are you just going to give me your gold for a shovel? You know what I mean? It's the same fucking difference.
Totally.
Yeah,
exactly. You're going to give me your gold for some bread, so why do I have to go out there? And and totally.
Or like, and then like work on some other kind of industry, like what they were working on was like they had this like this market, and also kind of like was working on that and like turning the oil into like some kind of like byproducts. At that point, they were like working the byproducts.
Yeah, using it for burning oil they use it to burn the oils and fucking.
Yeah,
there's a funny. I think it was in here. There's a funny meme. It's not a meme. It was a meme in fucking the 1880s or whatever, where it's like the whales are celebrating that.
Oil.
They
struck oil in there, like they're like, yeah. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah,
totally. But and really sad at the same time.
Of whale oil was being purchased to light up the mining camps across the gold country. During the gold rush, many people who created sustained wealth were the merchants. For example, this page from the 1852 census for the city of Sacramento includes the names of 3 brothers who operated a grocery store. The grocery store was run by the Stanford brothers, who came from New York during the gold rush. At age 35, Josiah was the oldest brother.
That's nice.
Charles was the second oldest brother at age 33. Asa Phillips was the youngest brother at age 30. Younger brother Leland Stanford was 28 at the time. Leland was admitted to the bar in New York in 1848 and moved with other settlers to Wisconsin at the time. In 1852, he lost his law library to a fire and ended up following his brothers to California during the gold rush. Leland achieved great business and political success in California. In 1861, Leland founded the Central Pacific Railroad with 4 others. Leland was elected governor of California in 1861 and served 1 term. In 1869, the Central Pacific Railroad met up with the Union Pacific Railroad at Promontory Point in Utah to become the first transcontinental railroad. Leland was given the honor of driving the final spike. In 1885,
Wait, go back to that.
Leland was elected to
go back
the
to that
United
picture.
States Senate,
The death
where he served
blow.
until
You're right there.
first transcontinental railroad. Leland was given.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
one?
yeah. I don't see many Asians.
No.
Yeah. All right.
That's a good
Yeah.
observation there.
Yeah. Seems like there
What
might
a
have
picture, man.
been a lot of fucking fellers there. They're like, what, like 60 people?
Oh, more than that.
Maybe 100.
Yeah. Huh.
Interesting.
Given the honor of driving the final spike. In 1885, Leland was elected to the United States Senate, where he served until his death in 1893. And also in 1885, he and his wife founded Stanford University. In the 1850s, the Stanford brothers established the Pacific Oil and Camphene Works in the port city of San Francisco. In the late 1850s, camphene was a trade name for the most popular lamp fuel. Turpentine was distilled and mixed with alcohol, and camphor was added for a nice aroma. The Stanford brothers
Camphor.
also supplied lamp fuels made.
You want to know what's so
animals.
funny about
Fuller
camphor?
oil was made from
What's that?
walruses.
Like, I remember there was like, from like my grandma's day, they had this one ointment that was kind of like Vicks vapor rub, and she had it from, and it was called camphor, like camphor rub, and it smelled just like Vicks. It was like, I wonder if that's like just Vaseline or something like that.
Right. Or that it's like what Vicks
Yeah,
vapor rub
Yeah.
is actually.
yeah. I wonder, like, maybe when we're done, like camphor. I wonder if I could just.
I'm
look it
trying
up.
to remember.
Yeah, it was like this.
Yeah,
like,
because
it came in this like tin.
it reminded me of my grandparents' house big time when they mentioned it.
Yeah, it was like back in the day.
What does it say on your Google
Hold on.
machine?
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, here it is.
Spirit. Nice.
Yep, it says vapor. It's like I bet it's just Vaseline. Hold on, it's the images. Yeah, it's just basically yeah. If you look at it, it's a cough suppressant, which is fucking hilarious. It's it's mentholated camphor rub. Yeah.
So they're basically basically burning Vicks vapor oil, fucking.
Yeah, which was like a pleasant breathing agent. Which is like
probably fucking good for the fucking breathing when you're down in those fucking tunnels mining and shit.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I when I kept on hearing it, I'm like, well, wait, I've heard, like, it was like, yeah, you don't hear much of it anymore, but it would like this shit would like open your lungs up. And I remember like when I was a kid, like my grandma would rub the shit on me if I had like a snotty nose or something like that, and like put me to bed or something. Yeah,
I mean, these guys are like making empires off this shit. Yeah,
but my grandma was like crazy though. She would also fucking put like that camphor rub plus like seriously like WD-40 on her skin and shit. Like she was like born in like 1906, dude. So she was like a wild lady, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and she would just go right to bed like Charlie from fucking Always Sunny in Philadelphia, dude. The thing she wasn't doing was eating cat food, dude. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
Yeah.
They were hard back then, that's for sure.
And seals. Lard oil was rendered from beef fat. Sperm oil was from sperm whales, and elephant oil was rendered from elephant fat. The Stanford brothers had a large branch store on Front Street in Sacramento that still stands in the historical district. The Stanford brothers Pacific Oil and Camphene Works plant also supplied several other Stanford brothers stores throughout the gold country.
That's had multiple stores.
The lamp fuel industry was disrupted in a major way in 1859. That's when Edwin Drake drilled the first commercial oil well, shown here in Titusville, Pennsylvania. Shortly after Drake's well was drilled, chemists figured out how to distill kerosene from the crude oil. A cartoon from the time shows whales celebrating the discovery of oil in Pennsylvania.
Poor whales.
By
that frog was the butler.
The Stanford brothers were supplying kerosene as a lamp fuel to their customers. By 1865, drilling methods established in Pennsylvania were being documented in books, and capitalists were bringing experts to California. In 1865, ads started appearing in California newspapers placed by promoters. The promoters sought to sign leases and promised to deliver capital, equipment, and expertise to develop the oil resources. One type of expert mentioned in the California papers in the 1860s was the oil smeller. Oil smellers professed to ascertain the proper spot for drilling wells by smelling the earth. The profession of oil smelling has not withstood the test of time. Today, it has largely been replaced by the profession of geology. In 1865, some oil samples were shipped from Humboldt County to San Francisco to be tested. At that time, the future of the California oil industry was still unknown. Some historic California
pause it real quick.
Are memorial.
Yeah.
Like it, from what I gather, his point of view being is that like he mentions how many like oil drifts. What do they call? What does he call them when they like leak out of the like
seeps?
Oil seeps that were in like Northern California. Which is another tidbit of information if you're considering like why there's the state of Jefferson that's been succeeded from the state of California in the United States ever since. I'm telling you, man, it's all about them stripping that Northern California of their like mineral rights and water rights, dude. And that's why that is like, never brought up.
And why they'll probably never let them do it because they don't want them to take control of all that.
Well, it's just like I'll back them.
I mean, I'll back them. I mean, I won't. I mean, they won't let them do it because,
they're getting closer. They're getting closer.
Yeah, but fucking at that point,
it's
they're still probably gonna have to give up all their water or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's just too much. Like, it's like with Texas. They're not going to let Texas leave the states either because of all the fucking fossil fuels down there that they don't want them to fucking seize control of and use.
Yeah, Texas Texas got their own problems, dude. Fuck them, dude. like it's California, nowhere else, dude. You know what I mean? And I always be like, look, you're not like. It seems like you're not even able to like fish your own like waters anymore because those fish are like somehow considered international at this point, dude. You know what I mean? Like they belong, like the commodity of fish belongs to some other fucking country already. It's like weird. It's like, like you're fishing the seashore and you're like, you catch like a halibut. Like they're like, it's communist. Nope. They almost feel like you're like feeding yourself and no one else. And you're being selfish or something like that.
Right.
So they'll fine you. They'll give you a ticket.
Yeah. So you got to pay. You got to pay in order to fucking do it.
Right. Yeah.
Have your license.
Or it's not going to like the commercial like market where like if you're eating like, because even if you like get a bluefin tuna that's like 700 pounds, that's like 15 grand, dude. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, go on.
Yeah. Sidebar.
Yeah.
Realized by this plaque located in Petrolia in Humboldt County.
Get up real quick.
The wells were located on the North Fork of the Mattole River, 3 miles east of the plaque. In 1865, it was reported that the first native California petroleum refined was from Humboldt County and was refined by the Stanford brothers at their San Francisco refinery. This photograph from 1935 shows oil being baled from one of the historic Union Matol Oil Company wells. During the 1860s, California newspapers reported oil exploration occurring at oil seeps all across the state. For example, there was the Sargent Ranch in Monterey County. A seep was reported along the Kern River in Tulare County, later to be carved out to become
And that was about
Kern
time
County.
to get up. I was going to, I didn't know the Stanford brothers were the first ones to drill
in Monterey County.
Or did they say Humboldt or Monterey? But
Monterey County had like a seepage too, like in Sargent, which makes a lot of sense because it's volcanic.
Mm-hmm.
Santa Cruz does too. They put like they had like oil derricks up in De La Vega. That's what they found oil right on that sandbar, that sand hill up there.
Right.
They just did it. Yeah.
Remember even going on the beaches in Santa Barbara, you get oil on your feet.
Yeah, but apparently that happens whether there's an oil derrick out there or not. That's what they were saying in Humboldt County. And then also like,
no, it's not the derrick. It's not the derricks. It's the natural seepage coming out.
Exactly. Yeah, and then when they were building, like
the derricks are there because of the natural seepage.
Well, also like they had to burn off like the oil that was coming out of those like mountains when it came to like drilling that freaking tunnel. They said they had to burn it off every 15 fucking minutes, dude.
Yeah,
can you
that's
imagine?
Insane, dude.
That's what fucking. I mean, like if it's like,
that's hairball,
dude. That's crazy.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
it's like no wonder a bunch of people died on that one.
But there's an oil field out right there, dude. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like there's
for sure.
I mean, if there's that much releasing of like water in the South Bay, and also like every other mineral that they've like silicon, which let's not forget, and then mercury and those other crystals in alum rock. There's oil. There's oil. There's oil.
Well, I mean, it makes you think that they didn't stop because fucking it was too dangerous. They couldn't get through. They stopped because they needed to fucking drill out that oil. And, the water company fucking bought everything up, and who knows what they're doing down there.
Probably exactly right. That's probably exactly right.
Yeah.
Like, because the water companies are powerful, dude. Like, and they sneak under the radar with their like little budgets, but they control a hell of a lot of stuff, dude. They can basically press the whole state whenever they want.
And like you said, leading up that tunnel, you can't get to a lot of the roads anymore because the water company owns it, and they fence and barbed wire all that shit off. And there's they post signs like "Do not trespass. This is government property." They make it known pretty hard that they don't want your ass anywhere near there.
They don't want you to know. They're like, it's just like the minute you get curious about it, it's like you're dealing with it. You know what I mean? It's like
totally. Yeah. Like before you know it, there's some fucking van driving up like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing around here, huh?
Enjoying our freedom." They're like, "Oh, not here, guy."
No, well, actually, this is government property, federal property. You're actually not allowed to be over here. Okay.
Well, that's interesting. I'm part of the government. Oh yeah, what part? I mean, there's lots of different parts, guy. You just just answer every question with like, maybe I have a higher security code than you, guy. Do you want to go to our bosses? I'll have my boss talk to your boss. Well, my boss talk to your boss. You're an employee, right?
Toll River, 3 miles east of the Platte. In
Stanford
1865,
brothers.
It was reported that the first native California petroleum refined was from Humboldt County and was refined by the Stanford brothers at their San Francisco refinery.
So they took it, even just from them taking it to Humboldt County to SF is a fucking mission.
It's a mission. It's like 6 hours from Humboldt to go that way. But
right. Like probably, we could look it up too, but at least a few hundred miles. Yeah. And even in today's standards driving, you're talking 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah. And if you put it on a boat, it's just the same amount.
Totally. And, I mean, obviously these guys had trains or whatever.
Right.
It's still a fucking mission. Like,
yeah.
Anyways,
this photograph from 1935 shows oil being baled from one of the historic Union Matol Oil Company wells. During the 1860s, California newspapers reported oil exploration occurring at oil seeps all across the state. For example, there was the Sargent Ranch in Monterey County. A seep was reported along the Kern River in Tulare County, later to be carved out to become Kern County. There was seeps reported near Buena Vista Lake, near the southern end of Tulare County.
The water and oil go
Kern
hand in hand,
County.
it seems like.
And there were oil and gas seeps reported in Colusa County. The Stanford brothers had commercial success in constructing a tunnel to produce oil from the ground near the seeps in Ventura County. This cross-section shows how a mirror was used to reflect sunlight to keep the tunnel straight as it was constructed into the side of the mountain.
That is awesome.
Chinese laborers
Imagine getting blinded by that mirror.
Tunneling for the Central Pacific Railroad were used to construct the tunnel.
My headache.
In 1866, drilling near oil seeps was reported at Wiley Springs, Moore Spring, Pico Spring, and then the Stanford Tunnel in Ventura County was reported as producing about 10 barrels a day. In the 1800s, based on surface conditions, over 30 counties in California thought that they would have future oil development within their boundaries. Oil production growth in California was delayed by the Panic of 1873 and the subsequent Depression. Oil production grew in California from about 30 barrels a day in 1876 to over 7,000 barrels a day by 1899. Based on snowballing reports of oil discoveries in the newspapers, by 1901, Californians knew that the future of the oil industry in their state was going to be great. Despite early hopes, the oil potential in some counties did not pan out. Oil development became concentrated in certain parts of the state, and oil production continued to grow. Electricity disrupted the lighting industry as the light bulb replaced kerosene lamps. However, demand for crude oil continued to surge as it replaced coal as an energy source. As the Navy switched from coal to oil to power their ships, they set up naval patrolling reserves, including the Elk Hills oil field in California. Demand.
What the hell? Is that supposed to be their fucking radar tower or something?
I think they were like drilling their own oil.
Yeah, man, oil rig thing.
What is that building in the background? It says West
Shore Elevator Pier number 8.
Nice. All right. Huh. You got good eyes still, bro.
Elk Hills oil field.
I feel like California. They're fucking fading.
Demand for crude oil in California was further increased due to the disruption to the transportation industry brought by the development of the internal combustion engine. This chart shows global primary energy consumption by source from 1800 to 2020. The chart shows the Drake well in 1859, and the chart notes that the use of coal continued to increase due to its use as a fuel for electrical power plants. This chart shows that fossil fuels, coal, crude oil, and natural gas make up the largest component of world energy consumption. Global crude oil consumption has grown to an all-time high of about 100 million barrels per day. Some forecasts show global oil production remaining
times it by 55
for 20 years or more. California oil production continued to increase through the 1900s. During World War II, the California oil industry was called upon to supply military ships and planes in the Pacific and Southeast Asia. To support the war effort, California production was ramped up to an all-time high of nearly 1 million barrels a day. Oil production began increasing in California again in the 1960s when thermal enhanced oil recovery with steam injection was introduced. The oil production rate for California peaked at about 1.1 million barrels per day in 1986. The maps show oil fields in the San Joaquin Basin on the left and the Los Angeles Basin on the right. These two oil basins may be the juiciest in the world in terms of amount of oil per unit rock volume.
Never hear about it.
This chart shows 4 waves of energy transitions beginning.
Yeah, that's a trip.
I know.
I was just thinking too about, because up in Martinez where I'm working a lot, there's Shell up there. Chevron's on the way. Like all the big companies are in the Bay, like refining, not only refining, but obviously fucking drilling.
Yeah, and Paso Robles, Monterey County right there. Like on the way to Paso Robles and Monterey County right there, they have like that oil field out there. Here's the thing. I just heard like a report from, I don't know if you ever get into Peter Zion. He's like
we've talked about him before, but I haven't watched too much of his videos.
Yeah, well, he was saying that like right now, here's the thing, is that like the oil coming out of America, and this is like what's crazy, is they're saying that the oil production that's coming out of America right now is like, it's called sweet crude, which means it's like literally already refined itself, like being in the ground,
naturally refined.
Yeah, and it comes out clear. That's how sweet it is, and like the rest of the world doesn't have like as much like sweet crude as like America has. I mean, and there's like a gnarly surplus of it right now.
It makes a lot of sense because I remember like way back in the day, hearing in conspiracy theory shit that there was more untapped freaking oil reserves in like South Dakota than there was in the Middle East.
Right.
And there was more untapped oil reserves in Texas than there was in the Middle East.
Like Montana.
Yeah. And like, you just know, I mean, they're just sitting on it, playing with all this other shit, just waiting for it to whatever. It's such a game, they don't never want to talk about this.
Well, it's like that Thomas Sowell, Thomas Sowell is like to believe that everything is in abundance and it's the government's job to make you think that we're in scarcity. So it's like they're doing a pretty good job of it, right? Like,
right. Yeah, I mean, totally. I mean, they've been doing it with the whole climate and that's water thing too. I mean, this is another extension of that.
I mean, dude, like
tactic.
Like it's a weather control modification. It's like you can tell people all the time, like like they seed the clouds for like snow production so that it fills up the lakes for hydroelectricity, and they're like, yeah, but then you go, well, like if they can seed the clouds for like more snow to hit the Sierras, then they can get a tornado go one way or another, and they're like, oh come on, guy.
Yeah, no, dude, fucking,
you know what I mean?
Totally, yeah.
Whoa, like easy there, fella.
Yeah, hold on, Trumper.
Yeah.
My buddy Xavier, he lives up in Nevada. He'll hit me up all the time, like, Joe, the skies are fucking crazy today, seeded. Watch tomorrow's gonna be rain or whatever. And dude, every time he called out, it'd be like all of a sudden, here's fucking every time, like, not even wrong once. It's fucking
because dude, like it's like that shit, like. I mean, when you have like the governor, the fucking president of Mexico saying like, "Hey, we don't want any more of this shit like over our skies anymore." Who makes the news? We don't want like weather modification planes to fly over our atmosphere anymore, and it's just like makes the news. Like this guy's, what is he saying? He's saying what like conspiracy theories. People fucking like go ahead. They're fucking controlling the weather with like fucking like chemtrails.
Right. I mean, yeah, he says what we've all been saying is, hey,
now
I don't want you guys fucking controlling this weather over our head anymore.
Now, like it's almost like these people are like so racist in the true sense where they're like, oh, the president of Mexico, like what does he know? Well, like he's why would you be saying that?
Yeah, I mean, that's such a huge part of the program, at least from like, putting the Western civilization at the pinnacle. Everyone looks down. Like it's the same mentality, they're just stupid Indians. They're just stupid Mexicans. They're, what do they know? These guys fucking, they still do Day of the Dead. They don't know what they're fucking talking about.
Oh yeah, it's like being healed by a shaman and being like, oh, like yeah, man. Like being healed and then going back to being like, oh, well, I'll just go back to Western medicine. And you're just like, oh, you don't even think twice. Like, like just rub dirt on it,